I'm Vera Drew.
And I'm Ember Knight.
And welcome to Jackass!
Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville. Welcome to Jackass.
We are recording, right? Very cool. I like to ask that every time.
Have you every time?
I have asked every time. Sometimes before, sometimes after the intro, but I never know.
I should ask that because there have been so many things that I've started recording or thought I started recording and I didn't.
Oh, really?
Including takes of my fucking movie. There's takes missing, but it's okay.
Where like the audio or the camera is rolling, but not the other one?
It's bound to happen.
Sure.
I realized when I said that Nate Cornett might be watching, and I don't, it's not his fault.
It happens.
You did a good job, Nate, if you're watching.
Industry secrets. It's mistakes happen.
You said something on set that really stuck with Nate. There's a line in the movie, because you play a character. I don't want to say what it is just because it's a spoiler.
Right.
But there's a line in the movie where you have to say Rick Moranis' name. And you said every single time Rick Moranis.
I did say it every single time.
And I hope it's okay that I'm telling this story, but several weeks after filming, Nate Cornett, the DP of the movie, texted you.
Yes, he did.
Rick Moranis.
Yeah, and he wrote anus in all capitals. It was Rick More Anus. And I was like, why would you say that? And then I found out later, I was like, that's not how you pronounce it. So I just thought he was texting me that.
Did you actually think?
Yeah.
That was
I just
real?
thought that was how it was pronounced.
Are you fucking with me?
So when he texted me that, I didn't realize he was making fun of me. I just thought that he was again finding the name funny.
I'm so glad nobody corrected you on set because I thought it was just a choice you were making.
No.
Oh, God, that's great. I love that.
Many things about me appear to be choices, but in fact, I grew up under a bridge and I just don't know. So I'm actually doing the best that I can.
I feel like that most of the time when people are laughing at things I say or do.
I'm like, there must be a reason, and I'm just going to take it.
No, I think you've got to take it. That's a part of our journey as artists.
Find out later why things were working. Yeah. But if they're working, just go with it.
It'll hurt just as much, but it'll all be out in one full swoop.
Exactly. One full swoop.
I don't have a segment.
It's fell swoop.
A fell swoop. Is it?
Yeah.
I've said full my whole... See,
Moranis.
That's my Rick Moranis.
Moranis. One full ass swoop. All right.
I just realized my eye line's been wrong.
Oh, I keep looking here. Because that's what I'm in.
But I'm going to try to look.
I'm going to try to look.
Because I have watched the show. I want my eye line to be correct. You look wherever you're going to look. I don't have a segue to today's guest.
Is it nice living in Montreal? For some reason, I have this idea that like Canada for artists is like so nice.
Yeah, it is. I mean, my wife and I moved here September of 2019, and so we've lived here more in quarantine than not. So
yeah,
it's definitely, I don't know, I think it would have been very exciting. It's already wonderful here just to walk around, although now in half an hour it'll be a curfew. There's like an enforced curfew here now, so I could get a ticket for like taking out the garbage if I had to. So yeah, now we have to get used to like planning our whole night because you're literally not allowed to go outside at all after 8
because of quarantine.
Yeah, like they're handing out $1,000 tickets to people.
Wow.
Yeah, it's fucked.
Sounds effective.
Yeah,
I mean, it means the stores are all twice as busy during the day, so there's larger. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to me, but
that's so true because I was about to say like I wish they would do that in LA because it's just so bad here still, but like it would just make things worse. Everybody's already so much of a dick during the day. Like I can only imagine if they got $1,000 tickets for leaving their house. We should introduce our guest.
Yes.
Today's guest is the host of the Blink 155 podcast, which is a Blink 182 podcast. Please welcome to the show, Josiah Hughes.
What's up? Hey.
How
Hello.
are you?
I'm great. I feel so good from what we just watched.
Hell yeah.
It is so much better than reality happening right now.
I know. People hanging out with each other, having fun outside.
That's
Dang.
true. Yeah, you can't really do that online, I guess.
No.
I guess not, but this is as close as it can get. A Zoom call is just as good as what I always
It's
say.
the exact same. Let's jump right in. Josiah, what was your favorite sketch that we watched?
I mean, I took notes. I feel like I'm so predictable for myself even, but it's obviously the shitting on the street. I mean, it's just such a pure distillation of everything that they're going for. That they've just stripped away all of the pretense and artifice and just a man shitting on the street.
Our audience doesn't see the clips except we put a little bit up here, but they didn't watch it all fully. So just describe for the audience what you saw.
So which guy? Which guy
That was
is
Rob
that?
himself, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Rob himself. Okay, which is such a great nickname too. I mean, he's just kind of in the suburbs. It's kind of like seems like a nicer area a little bit. It reminds me. I grew up in BC, British Columbia, Canada. It kind of reminds me of around there. Like it's very like tree lined, like lots of
Totally.
acreage is probably around there. And he's just kind of like he's literally just reading the newspaper, squatted on the side of the road. Shitting in the street and sort of trying to time it with cars driving by. I don't know who's giggling over top, but that's the best part. Like just the pure joy of the giggling is so nice.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of it, is that it really was just, it was like we were there.
Yeah.
It was like we were there hiding in a bush, watching our friend take a dump. And yeah, it is really, I mean, I want to give a shout out to our producer Bobby on this one for ending on that clip. It was just a well curated nice way to end the watch.
I think my favorite thing about that clip was that it's really not that hard to find a toilet outside on the road, and they could have done it with a toilet, but there's just like there's this just suspension of belief that it's an invisible toilet. Like he's not he's not just squatting and taking a shit. He's sitting as though he's on a chair with a newspaper, and we're supposed to fill in the toilet with our own minds.
It's so true. Like the newspaper is that changes
That's
everything.
what makes
having
it.
a newspaper. Yeah.
I think in post, not to give you extra work, Bobby, but I think you should add a digital toilet. I'll front if it costs us money.
We should pay to have this done.
Yeah, like if we need to get it like we should add a digital. I think just
What if we did like a GoFundMe to have editors go through Jackass and make it polite?
Whoa.
Be like, this poor man clearly needs a toilet, so we're gonna get an animator.
that's our
To give him
Patreon.
one.
I think that's because that's really the only way that I, as like a really guilty Catholic that already has a Patreon, the only way I can justify asking people for more money is we'll make Jackass polite.
We're gonna clean up Jackass.
Yeah.
Isn't that a thing that was on the internet like 10 years ago? Like people would take porn and then draw like a clarinet over it or whatever. Like kind of do something like that.
Doing the Lord's work. Can we talk about antiquing?
Yes, please.
So this is a great, this is like a CKY kind of vibe. It's a classic BAM bit. What is a BAM bit if it's not waking people up in a horrible way? So it's just him waking people up by throwing, is it flour or is it sugar?
I don't know.
Were they
I think
pretending
it
it was cocaine in the intro? Did they say something about an 8-ball or something?
They definitely probably made that joke.
I think they said something like that, and I was like, "This is not relatable to me at all." I'm not really a drug person, but I thought it seemed like it would be really nice. I feel like that would feel nice on your face when you wake up, like a cloud.
So when we come to Canada,
we're gonna antique you.
we're going to
immediately.
antique you.
Why is it called antiquing though? I felt like I missed something.
I don't know. I think it was because like I thought it was like makeup powder. It's kind of like one of their like dandy foppish bits, I think.
It was definitely dandy. I mean, Bobby, do you have thoughts on that?
They never have explained it.
They've never explained it, he says.
Sure, it's because you know the.
Oh yeah. Is that because that's what I'm picturing is it's like a not like the chimney, like how you clean chimneys with I don't know what those are called, but like we'll digitally add one of those in my hands.
Or we'll digitally add after images of each person where they now have a powdered face and a powdered white wig. And it was a makeover.
We should dress like that. Not next week, but next time. Sometime soon. We should both dress like dandy fops. I just want to say you were one of the first people that I thought of to have on our Jackass podcast because you host a Blink-182 podcast.
Yeah, I know. It's like one of those things that I take as a compliment, but I don't know if it is to be the first one. So, I mean, I think I've just, as a 35-year-old man, I've realized my specialty is just like being a fucking idiot 16-year-old forever. That's kind of my whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, that was last year for me of like trying to get sponsored by Hot Topic and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you find what you're good at and you lean in.
I also think that you probably understand like the vibe and the joy of this podcast and like so
exactly.
you get us, you know.
There's something about, I mean, I haven't like actually watched the whole Jackass show. I've seen all the movies and I've seen.
Oh, we haven't
KY.
Either.
You're watching it for the first time too, or
a lot of it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it's kind of. I liked how kind of low key it all felt. It was very like it's not. The movie is like being a movie, you know.
Yeah.
But this is just kind of like it can be kind of boring sometimes, and then it just washes over you, and it's very pleasant feeling.
It's like one of the rare cultural things where each incarnation has actually like improved as opposed to feeling more tired. Yeah. Like the show is so beautiful, but then the first movie takes it to the next level, and the second movie takes it further, and the third movie takes it even further. Like it just keeps getting better.
Twin Peaks and Jackass, I would say, are the only two things.
Super rare category.
I actually think Blink-182 was like that for a long time too, because it was similarly like the bigger it got, they just kept getting better, and so many people hated them. Like everyone was turning their nose up at them. I think Jackass will still manage to fuck it up eventually if they haven't already.
They're making a new movie, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna fucking take a shit on their legacy.
Yeah, I mean,
I do. I'm very concerned for this new movie.
Yeah, but to me, I think what I love about Blink and this too is like I love the idea of like rebellion or counterculture just being because you're bored and you're like your life is too good, so you just like you're just gonna go steal some shopping carts and wreck them or something.
Yeah.
Like that's like a beautiful kind of rebellion to me that is just kind of ultimately isn't really hurting anybody, and it's just kind of like pathetic middle class dorks being dorks.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's very interesting.
It's like the biggest fuck you to capitalism. It's like, even if you give me everything that I'm supposed to want, I'm still not going to be fucking happy. Yeah. Fuck you.
I still
fuck
just want to get
shit.
hit in the balls.
Yeah. It's not enough. You can't buy my complacence.
Yeah. There's nothing more Christ-like, really.
Yeah. There's nothing more Christ-like.
That is so true. I want to go back to what you said. Like, I mean, this isn't a Blink-182 podcast. But
today it is.
Today it is. And that is so true. Because, like, I remember how much shit I got, like, when their self-titled album came out. And, like, I was like, no, this is the best one. And everybody was like, no, it's, like, fucking pussy shit. And it's like, no, but it's, like, it's everything that I love about them. But, like, they, like, really just made it so emotional. And, like, musical theater. Like, it was, like, I don't know. Because, like, I feel like I really grew up with Blink too, like, because like I discovered them right at the perfect time in my life to like appreciate every era, I think. And now I have that with Jackass for the same reason that you're describing, that it's just like, yeah, no, it's just like it's a rebellion that's not hurting anybody but just making you have fun and hang out with your friends and smile.
I wonder if it's for you too, if it's like this too, but I also think, I mean, I've always had this kind of internal tension between really wanting to be a snob and be like highbrow and know about cool snob shit, but also just wanting to watch people get hit in the balls or whatever.
Oh yeah.
I think this is that tension too. And it's like, the things that everyone hated Jackass and was like, you should watch this instead back then. We don't remember what any of that shit is. Like
No.
it's the stupid things that are just kind of pure fun that transcend and last longer.
I think that that's an imaginary separation too. This idea of like, if you're intellectual and you're like smart and emotionally intelligent, that you're like, you behave in a refined way and in a smaller, more dignified way. And then if you like are big and loud and break things, that you're stupid. And like, that is such a dumb false equation.
Yes. No. Okay. I watched Freddy Got Fingered last night, and I had seen it like parts of it years ago. I didn't remember it as a movie. I just remembered like individual moments from it. And I had like a religious experience watching it last night for that reason, because that movie was just heralded as like the dumbest fucking thing ever made. And like watching it, it's like it knows exactly what it is. Like Tom Green just got a ton of money and was just like, "Oh, you're gonna give me a ton of money? Okay, I'm gonna jerk off horses and elephants and it's like so self-aware and like rude, but like harmless, and it's operating on this complete other level. It's I love
And doesn't it open with him skateboarding in a mall? I mean, that's to me, that's punk right there. That's what punk is to me, is skateboarding in a mall.
It's like the perfect movie. Like every movie should begin with the main character skateboarding through a mall.
I agree.
You know what I'll say about Jackass 4, which we are counting down for, is that the one way that I think it could top all of them is if it just was extremely emotional. Because their bodies can't take what they used to do, but now they've been friends for decades. And if it was just a sob fest for all of us who love it, like I think then it would be perfect.
I have faith. You know what? I have faith that there will at least be some. I don't think that the whole movie is going to be that like emotional deconstruction of Jackass
but
that
some,
you and I would
that
want.
we want.
But like, I do think just because like the third one had. Like they acknowledged that Steve-O was sober and like stuff like that. So like I think they
Party's over.
Yeah.
No, just kidding. He's better. He's better than ever now.
Yeah.
That would be amazing if it was like some kind of monster, the Metallica documentary, but it's Jackass 4.
I hope it isn't, because some kind of monster like fucking ruins Metallica. Like I do not want to watch. Like I mean, I want to see like emotional intelligence out of like people like Johnny Knoxville and stuff, but like I want to see it in an elegant way. I don't want to see the guys from Jackass like crying in therapy, like couples therapy.
I do.
If
anyone has footage of that, I want to see it.
My favorite of the night was and for like the reason of just like I don't know, kind of I feel like I one up it in a lot of ways, was bikini wax. Because it was just Steve-O getting bikini wax on his nipples and his armpits. Mm-hmm. And I will give it this. Our producer Bobby pointed out this was pre-40-year-old virgin, so I guess yes, ahead of its time. But at the end of the day, like, people do hair removal every day. I, for instance, I'm not only trans, I am Eastern European. I am the hairiest. I'm not the hairiest woman in my family. They didn't even like wax his balls or like his asshole or anything. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It was like the first time in my life where I could say like, I'm more hardcore than Steve-O. And I wanted to give myself that victory tonight.
Vera gets that victory tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think part of what, it was part of what was a bit about it is that it's a chick thing. Like that is what the bit was, is that he's doing this things for chicks. And I liked the waxing artist.
Yeah. Because
she was just getting a hoot out of this. She was like, it's gonna fucking hurt, dude. Because she knows, because she does it every day. But he got to have it just the one time.
Yeah. It does really hurt.
It does hurt.
It is the most, but I don't know, for me, it's almost spiritual how much it hurts. And again, like, sorry, I'm like really Catholic. I think that's like why I was like wincing a lot tonight during all the bits too. Like maybe I have like I don't know, like speaking a lot about pain.
You think the devil was in those bits?
Yeah. Yeah.
There was no God.
The Da Vinci
in those...
Code's evil.
We can all agree on that.
Yeah. He looked fucked up without. What did you think of this bit?
I just kept thinking, like, did he stuff his underwear? Because he was packing in that bit too. I was like, God damn. I feel like they built the bit around him getting his crotch on TV front and center.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah. That was the weird thing. But I think he has a big dong, actually. I feel like that's kind of been established.
I don't think you ever see Steve-O's dong, do you? I don't think so. He and Knoxville don't want anybody to know the truth about their dongs.
That's interesting. I guess the others are so exhibitionist, but
we've seen a lot we've definitely seen a lot of pottiness. Not tonight.
Yeah, no.
Sorry to say.
It was light on Chris tonight, but that's okay. I probably needed to cool off anyway.
What we just watched, would that have been one whole episode on TV, or was it just?
We're just watching the Jackass. It's called Jackass the box set. It's like a DVD collection. So it's all out of order. That's why some of the bits are like really, really old. It's probably not the way to make your Jackass podcast, but I like it.
I like it. I just think it's like, again, to talk about the high lowbrow thing. It's like, this is like a short film festival, basically.
Yeah.
This should be at Sundance,
I agree.
Completely agree. I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the closest you can get to like watching it, just like catching it on MTV for a few minutes, after class when you're waiting for your Pop-Tarts to get ready.
We're just waiting for our Pop-Tarts to pick us up from school. I saw an injustice tonight.
I want to hear it.
I saw a grave injustice. And it began with seeing Danger Aaron, who we now know wanted to be like an Evel Knievel stuntman. He's in a jumpsuit that has been painted with a bullseye, and he's being the human target. And everybody just beats the shit out of him. They just like flying kick him in the chest and throw shit at him and like hit him with a baseball bat. Just like they're kicking his fucking ass, with the premise being that he is a target. And he has the best attitude about it. At the end, he's like, human target. Like, it's his dream to be like this stunt man in this outfit. And a few sketches later, who's going to be on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine but Johnny Knoxville being a human target? And so he gets the glory. He gets the fame. Danger Aaron, everyone hates him.
Yep.
He's the fucking boss. Classic boss behavior.
Boss behavior.
And I will also point out, it's one of the few times I've seen Johnny Knoxville get really mad after a bit.
Angry.
He gets so mad. And I mean, granted, I've been hit with a paintball. It fucking sucks. So I can't imagine getting hit with multiple ones, like especially like on your tummy and like on your genitals and stuff. But just to point out that, like you said, Danger Aaron was enthusiastically a human target. Johnny Knoxville was not.
Johnny Knoxville is kind of like Vladimir Putin in that they generally edit out any moment when he's angry. Like, they only leave footage in where he's laughing really hard and having a good spirit about it. So this is a very rare... They only included it because it was for the cover of Rolling Stone, so they had to use the footage for the show, I'm sure. But getting to see him get pissed... Are you okay?
I just coughed and something came out.
Oh, exciting. That's our Jackass sketch.
I'm just going to cover it.
When we find it.
Please zoom in on it.
Is it gone?
No, you know what? It's fine.
It's not gone, but it's fine.
It's definitely not gone, but you won't. It's fine.
Not gone and not forgotten. I have nothing else to say.
I wish he would have at least changed the suit, though. Like that's like a dominance thing to wear basically the same suit.
Same.
Like that's.
Well, he wasn't wearing. It was the same premise. He was shirtless.
Yeah.
Oh, true.
But he was
painted the same way.
He was painted.
Yeah, they saw Aaron's bit. They were like, "That's a good bit. Fuck Aaron. We hate Aaron. Let's take the bit and put it on our golden boy."
Yeah, and now this segues perfectly into, I want to just take the time, Danger Aaron, if you're watching, we would love to have you on.
What about
I'm sure-
Johnny? Is he invited?
Johnny's also invited. Everybody's invited.
Everyone's invited.
You have some. Have you? You've tried to get Tom DeLonge on, right? Have you
Yeah.
gotten any of the Blink people on your podcast?
I gotta address the elephant in the room. We're done talking about Blink 182. We've done every single song, and so now it took 3.5 years. We did 174 episodes on Blink 182. I actually have been bleeping out their name on our show now when it comes up because I'm so sick of them. But
I'm so
like,
sorry.
No, it's okay. It's fine. When I'm doing a different show, I'm happy to go back into Blink mode and remember what I like about them. But it's like I can't stand them. And yeah, we tried to get Tom for like 2.5 years. We did have Mark on the show, and I think maybe he found out how much shit we talked on the other episodes because someone asked him if he had done our show, and he was like, "I've never even heard of that show," but like he definitely did do it. So I don't know.
Wow. Yeah. I wonder if we'll get to that point with Jackass. Like, what are we gonna do when we run out of? What are we gonna talk about?
We're gonna stop.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what you say now, but you think that's what I thought. Then I was like, we took like 3 weeks off, and I'm like, I can't not talk about pop punk for 3 hours every week. So now we just talk about any song we want. But yeah, we tried to get Tom forever, and we're like, you don't understand. Like, this is like, because the podcast has a bit of a cult following, and we're fucking obsessed with Tom DeLonge. Like, he's like the star of the show, and so I kept on like messaging all of his people. Someone who listens to the show has a NASA email address because they work at NASA. So they like emailed Tom with their NASA address thinking he would, but I think he just like knew that it was too chaotic. Maybe I think he's too chaotic and we're too chaotic. We would have just exploded or something if we had talked.
That makes a lot of sense. But I also think because of, I don't know, just the nature of your show though, like, he could talk about whatever he wants, and like,
I know. And the frustrating thing was his manager kept being like, yeah, he's not doing any press right now, but then he would go on like every jock rock radio station like every week because he just probably wants to just do like yeah, I want to ask him about like, I don't know, what his shit was like yesterday, or like, like just like I want to talk to like Tom as if we're like teens, as if we're in Jackass, but he wants to go on places and
that's what he doesn't want to do.
He wants to talk about the Across the Stars Academy or whatever it's called.
Yeah, which I mean, again, we would humor him. Like, I think I was the first one to be like, maybe he's onto something, I mean, he's a psycho, but he's our psycho.
The psychos are usually the ones that know about the aliens first, and we should listen to them.
But I am the thing about Jackass with you is the same sort of thing, is like, if you're gonna look at something and be honest about it and these people are still alive, it's probably gonna get weird eventually.
Yeah.
That's the thing, because we are, I think we've spoken pretty honestly about.
Oh, completely.
Like I one time said Bam Margera probably comes as like prematurely ejaculates. I said that on this show.
I mean, 100% because he has big Eminem energy.
Yeah.
You
Oh
know?
yeah. Eminem definitely.
That's a premature energy.
Yeah. But I also, I don't
true.
know. I would hope that, because I would want somebody to engage with my art on that level.
Well, I think that we come at these subjects from a place of love and from a place of humanity. It's not a shit talking podcast. And like in the same way that Jackass can, they're friends who are kicking each other's asses all the time, but it comes from love. And that's different than people who try to copy the Jackass model and are just like, I'm so extreme.
Yeah.
Like the discrepancy there, what makes Jackass good is that it's friendship based and it's silly and it's fun. And so I think that vibe translates to our podcast, and like, it would just be about them, feeling that vibe.
That's what's scary about there being a new Jackass. Because when we also started our show, it was like Blink had just done their first album without Tom. And so there was a lot of cynicism and frustration with the whole story of the whole band. But like do you think, because that's the beauty of watching this too, is it's so unself-aware. Like it is just like friends goofing around with a camera who can't believe they're getting to do this. But
Yeah.
now it's too big. Like, is it even possible to ever have that level of like naive joy ever again?
I hope so.
I would-
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I think the third one, because I was worried about that before the third one came out. And I remember or before I saw the third one, I can't remember. I just remember going into seeing the third one and being like, oh, they're like all too rich now, and like Steve-O's sober. I'm not gonna enjoy this. And like I did. It's like Jackass 3 is one of my favorite movies of all time. I don't know. What do you think?
I think that it's a really specific challenge to have more resources and more eyes on you and take your thing to the next level, as opposed to just rehashing in like a very safe way. And like, I am in no way famous and have very few followers, but like in the last 2 months, my like online presence has like jumped many, like, you know, a lot for me. And what it's what it's made me realize is that when that happens, I feel extreme like pressure and uncertainty about what to put out next.
Yeah.
Because a bunch of people are now saying, oh, we really like what you already did, make more stuff. And I'm like, well, I made that stuff with props that I found on the ground because I was penniless and nobody was looking at me. And
Yeah.
now if I have a little bit of money and I can choose what props to use, and people like have this expectation of work that has come before, how do I still make it, how do I get myself to that high of being like, fuck it, I'm going to do what I can. Like, fuck it, I'm going to do whatever I can. I'm going to make this fun for me, without thinking about that there are people watching and that I have to make creative decisions that are not just decided by my limited resources. And I think that what works with the reason that Jackass 3 works so well is because they were exploring the phantom cams, which was a whole new, that opened up their world, and they were able to like make it exciting and fresh and new for them again, and be like, oh, I want to shoot a dildo at somebody, but now it's cinematic.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
like, so it made it for them all over exciting from the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's like what you both are describing is just that's just every successful artist has to face that.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't think they're going to let us down. I think they're going to I mean, I imagine part of the movie hopefully we'll talk about the fact that they filmed it during a global pandemic.
Yeah.
You know, like I think that
True.
that alone, I mean, like I thought I was done kind of like working on like specifically like prank comedy shows. Like it's not that I think I'm above them. It's just I've worked on a lot of them at this point that like I need to get really excited about it to do it. But there's something about the idea of like hidden camera shows and like this kind of stuff during the age of coronavirus that is really interesting to me, that I don't want to like go out and do prank comedy, and I don't want people to be unsafe, but I think there's room to explore what something like this looks like right now, when people, like you said, like in Montreal, like you get fined for leaving your, like, I think there's an opportunity to like explore that, because that's a restriction on the art, is like everybody on that movie is like in the hospital right now with fucking coronavirus.
I hope that Jackass 4 is incredible, and that I'm able to remember the age of COVID like as being the time when Jackass 4 came out.
Can you imagine?
So cool.
That'd be so sick.
I can like peg different parts of my life over the last 4 years based on like talking about Blink-182 songs with random people. So I think you will eventually find your whole life is viewed through the prism of Jackass. And what
Oh,
a
no.
beautiful way to live.
Do you think it's been good or bad?
I don't know. I'm kind of losing grasp on the general concepts of good and bad all around me, like aesthetically, culturally, everything. I mean, it's kind of just like I'm just lost, but I'm enjoying being lost.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I am too. I think that's why like I'm revisiting like Star Wars a lot, and like I'm getting really hardcore into Joseph Campbell again, and I'm kind of getting like really Jesus-y again. And like I think it's because I need like I don't need like the binaries of good and evil simplified in real life, because I don't think they should be. Like because I am an imperfect person and I don't want anybody to like label me good lightsaber or bad lightsaber, but like at least in like the kind of stuff I'm consuming, it just is making everything a lot more comforting and easier, I think.
In this world, you're either a red lightsaber or a blue lightsaber. Sorry.
I've been watching. My wife and I just started watching Fast and the Furious franchise like this month, basically, and we're powering through it. But I think Jackass is similar to that for me in the sense that there's probably a time where it was a bit too like jockish for me, because I was like very much like a punk kid. And I was like, I hate jocks or whatever. So, but then coming back now and watching it, I'm like, this is, first of all, Fast and the Furious is like so hip. Like everyone in Montreal walks around dressed like Fast and Furious. Number one, like that's like the hip look. So that's
I
funny.
really want to go.
I know,
Yeah,
let's go.
exactly. Just like tiny tinted glasses and FUBU shirts and stuff. It's like ridiculous. But also like it's just so pure. Like I feel like when I was growing up being like a punk kid, I was always obsessed with like, is this hip or is it not? And do I like this because ironically or not ironically? And like, and then Fast and Furious is just like people who can barely talk because they're so jacked, just being like, I love my family, and then like crashing the car. It's like so sick. Jackass a little bit too. Also with like the sort of central beloved person dying, and then the franchise becomes about loss. Like it's so, it's cool.
Totally. No, I one of my favorite podcasts is Struggle Session, and they just did a show where they were talking about the movie 300, which is it's definitely a very problematic movie, and Zack Snyder's a very controversial director for those reasons, but like he's also just nobody can disagree. He's a real dumb guy. Like, but he's like a dumb nerd. He's like a dumb nerd, and like I think his movies are really enjoyable. They talk about this on Struggle Session, that like because he's dumb. There's
Right.
something very. It's like I like Michael Bay movies too. Like I like my favorite Wachowski sisters movie is Jupiter Ascending because it's so dumb. Like I think dumb media kind of is that's the secret to getting old, is just learning that the best stuff is kind of dumb.
Well, it's funny that you'd bring up that like Jackass appeared like it was for jocks, because like I also felt that way, and that's why I didn't watch it growing up and came to it later. But I just feel like it's more punk than it is jock, and like when you I think that might have been like the way it was marketed or something, but like when you actually watch it, they're like very anti machismo.
Yeah, I think you can go either way.
They're much more like it's skate culture.
Yeah.
Which is,
Yeah.
I think, more adjacent to punk than it is to jock.
Yeah, but I do think it was kind of maybe marketed more
Yeah.
and I remember the jocks at my school watching it
Sure.
more than I remember like the kids
Yeah.
in like hymn shirts and like the people like dressed like the dudes on the show. I bet there was a lot of like punk and pop punk people who like didn't
know that it was for them.
Yeah.
Didn't know it was for us.
I mean, I think, yeah, also pop punk people were all jocks at this time too. I mean, basically the jock punk dichotomy is very blurry in the 2000s. It's a very confusing time.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
I guess that's what everything's like now too, because I think it's nice that culturally we've moved past like you have to pick a side and everyone's just kind of into everything and mostly just into really stupid stuff.
To some extent, but I also think now I think what people like is politicized a lot more. Like I even think this show it kind of is like I've seen like think pieces about it that try to like say it is problematic, and I've never seen really. I mean, they have some problematic stuff in the show, but like I don't know, but I do see what you're saying. Like taste can be more varied now because everything's more specific now. I think. Is there any other?
Not more
go ahead.
problematic than like Gilmore Girls or something. Like there's like if you watch any show from then, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah. No, it's so funny. People are trying to cancel The Sopranos this week because the show's about mobsters. I guess that's the only thing I can figure out. Is like they should all be in jail. It's like, yes.
That's so weird.
Sorry, I'm talking about cancel culture
No,
again.
it's all good. It's all good.
Did we miss any?
I guess the only other one that I would want to mention is human bowling.
Yes. Yeah.
It was our only Preston bit of the night. Preston infamously just like seems like he does not want to be on the show, and yet you know that he really does. But he's always at the end of his, like he's always so pissed about what he has to do. And this was like a rare time when he seemed like he was in a pretty good attitude. Like for the first few times, it's human bowling, so they're reusing a little loop-de-loop that they had built for a skate thing from a different episode. And they've set up a bunch of trash cans at the other end, and they push Preston, the human bowling ball, who's like lying on a skateboard or something. They push him as hard as they can, and they're in teams. And he knocks over as many trash cans as he can, and then he goes off the lip of the ramp and into a lake.
Yeah, but he doesn't. It's not like a real jump though. Like he kind of just like goes up the ramp and then like sort of like teeters with his legs and then hits the water hard. So it's like it's not. I feel so bad for Preston because like in a lot of ways he gets like put into like the most hardcore situations.
Well, that's what you get when you audition by eating a whole bunch of bananas.
That's true. Yeah.
He wanted this and he got it.
That one stood out to me because it's like the most youth group one, and that's the other thing about Jackass like I grew up going to youth group, and like I learned about punk through like MXPX and like Christian pop punk. So that's the other like interesting flavor of this very benign kind of rebellion, is that it's like things you can listen to at church. And like I feel like that bowling one is like they could play that in a church and the youth pastor would be down. So that one is especially like very cute and innocent.
Yeah. That's so true. There are so many stunts that do have youth group vibes.
Yep. Yep.
And like secretly in youth group, everyone is like in my youth group, my friends and I used to take Gold Bond medicated powder and put it on our balls right before we would all join hands and pray, and then we'd have this like tingly feeling like secretly. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff like that happens at youth group.
Yeah, no. All the youth group kids were always like, I don't know, all the youth group kids at my school were like musical. Everybody ended up being like gay or trans.
Yeah.
Or like weirdo artists, or like, cause like youth group, it's funny because like my youth group was really conservative too, but at the same time it like did market itself as like, you know, fucking gauges and
I'm down with you guys. Yeah. You guys that have gauges.
So of course it's gonna like you're gonna gather up the gay kids.
Yeah.
And fuck up their lives.
They're trying so hard to invite the gay kids, and it worked.
Yeah.
They all came.
Oh, man. Well, I also just think that like if you're like me, everyone in my youth group that I was friends with, we actually didn't drink or smoke weed or anything. So we would just like come up with weird, like I remember just like stealing a whole bunch, or not stealing, they were in a dumpster behind the mall, but just taking a whole bunch of fluorescent light bulbs, giant ones, because someone had heard if you throw them and they smash, it's like a huge smoke cloud. So we just all night, like just like we found like 100 burnt out light bulbs and just smashed them in a parking lot, completely sober. Like
that's the show.
Yeah.
That's what Jackass is.
Exactly.
Yeah. Used condoms on the ground and smashing light bulbs.
That's why I'm not so worried about sober Steve-O. I feel like sobriety could make him go even more crazy. Maybe
he's fucking more crazy now.
We should say that Steve-O's doing wonderfully. He's extremely prolific.
Yeah.
He's doing great. He's making videos all the time, doing stunts all the time. He just had a special. He's just rocking it.
He's also just so fucking sweet. He's like the sweetest. Like, I don't know. I get really annoyed when I hear people talk about recovery, but he is like, he's just like a genuinely sweet, lovely man. Steve-O, if you're watching, please come on the pod.
We love you, Steve-O. You're cool.
What about how's Bam doing? He was having a rough go, wasn't he?
I think he still might be in a bit of his rough go.
He on Instagram, he seemed better.
That's good.
He's been posting like videos with like sledding with children. Like he seems to be hanging out with family and having family time, and he seems a little more, I don't know, just like more grounded, and like he's spending time with family. And I don't know this for a fact, but I feel a little less worried. But we should do some research.
Yeah, because I know he wasn't talking to April for a while, and the Dr. Phil interview.
Oh, yeah, that was rough.
It's rough. It's a rough.
That's one if we ever do bonus episodes.
Yeah, no.
Woof.
That should be behind a paywall, I think.
Yeah.
But I do think we should try to get Dr. Phil on the show at some point too. I don't know if I think someday we'll be big enough for that.
Oh my God, that would be
yet,
great.
But
He could like analyze them all psychologically.
Bam must have such a complicated relationship with people named Phil from that.
Yeah. No, I was like, I don't know, that like watching I got kind of like watching Antiquing tonight. Like there's a part where like April's like cleaning out the pillowcase, like and like there's just all this like makeup powder coming off of it.
Such jerks.
And then like it pans over to Phil, and like Phil's laughing, and like I don't know, I could be like going through some like dad issues and projecting tonight, but like I was just like, oh, he's so proud of Bam.
Yeah.
Like it's just like it really kind of like warmed my heart.
He was giggling, and under his breath, he was like, he's a bad boy.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah, that's so cute.
I wish my dad said I was a bad bud.
Not anymore,
Not
but
anymore.
it would have been nice at the time.
Yeah. I just wish he'd call me by my name. Not call you by your name. We should wrap it up.
We should wrap it up. I just wanted to ask before you go, is that a very sweet cat on the chair behind you?
He hates everyone except for me. So yes, he's very sweet.
Yeah.
I thought it was a stuffed animal. That cat has not moved a muscle.
There's one. If you roll back the tape, you might see him do one turn. But
Okay.
I plant him there because he needs to be by me. I sometimes try to make my wife walk him in the other room, and then he just like meows and pushes into. He needs to be by me. He's obsessed with me only. So yeah, he's the
He
best.
looks like a fox.
That's Woody. His
Oh,
name's
hi,
Woody.
Woody.
We love cats on the show. We're a big pro cat show. Although there was a dog in Antiquing tonight, and
Really cute.
I am not in a place in my life where I should get another dog.
No.
At all.
I'm going to tell you that you should.
I did not notice a dog. That was moving so fast for me. You guys must have like Jackass laser focus.
Oh,
or
yeah.
something.
We do.
We're on our shit.
It's
Yeah.
a disease. It's a disease we both have been diagnosed with.
Oh, I didn't tell you this, and I'll tell you this too now that we're friends. Yesterday morning, my cat, Ember Jr., shit on my face.
I can't believe you didn't tell me this.
I was saving it.
Wow.
I was saving it for the podcast.
How?
Were
Okay,
you
so this,
were you submerged in sand? Had you been antiquing before bed and thought it was
I had
river?
been antiqued. Bam was here. That's how you know Bam has visited you. You wake up and you've been antiqued.
Yeah, it's like the tooth fairy.
No, it was really funny because I woke up at like 5 and I was like, oh, what's that horrible smell?
Oh.
Junior must have taken a shit. And I smelled my pillow and I was like, oh, he got it on the pillow. And then I smelled the side of the bed and I was like, oh, how did he get it on the bed? Oh, I gotta go get a glass of water. This is too much for me. So I go downstairs and I get myself a glass of water and I go drink it and I'm like, how did he get it in the water? And then Bobby was like, Ember, there's something on your face.
Oh God.
Oh no.
And I went and looked in the bathroom. There's a little smear of shit. A little smear.
Oh my God.
And he had me fooled for like 20 minutes. I thought it was on everything that I smelled, but it was on me.
Did it take forever to get the smell off of you?
It took forever to get the smell out of my brain.
Yeah.
I washed my face
Right.
like 5 times and then it was gone. But then the rest of the day I was just like,
Yeah.
you know, just
cat
like
shit?
It gets
suspicious.
stuck in your nose. It
Yeah.
gets stuck in your nose.
It's such a potent smell, cat. Like Woody's a very big cat, and he'll like it smells like a construction worker just came in here and
Yeah.
took like a hefty
It's
shit.
the worst. Oh, God.
Yeah, my cat's shit smells so bad. It's crazy because like I've seen so many cat owners prior to getting a cat that were like, cats are better than dogs because you don't have to pick up their shit. And it's way worse.
Yeah,
so
it's-
cat shit is somehow way grosser than dog shit.
Yeah, dog shit is just kind of like, it's almost like manure. But cat
Isn't
shit,
it? Have you heard that thing like cat's shit or something? It brainwashes you somehow, or like smelling your cat's shit makes you love cats more. There's some sort of pheromone that's tricking all of us.
I've heard that. But I've heard that is there's some. It's a specific like hormone or pheromone or something that only affects a certain percentage of people.
Oh,
they're
okay.
literally drugging us.
Yeah.
with their shit. Maybe you don't. Your cat thought you didn't love it enough, so it shat
It's
on your face.
literally the biggest insult.
Ember totally did. If Ember has an understanding of, I'm using his name. I'm not calling him Junior because he did a bad boy thing. If Ember knew that his poo poo has a hormone in it that his that his parent can't resist. He just wanted to get more attention and get you to love him more.
It's working because you know what? Actually, since then, I've been like, I should respect him more and like improve our relationship.
That's the opposite of what you should do when somebody
Little
shits on
fucker.
your fucking
Little
face.
fucker.
Unless you're asking him to do that. I don't want to
No.
shame anybody. You did not ask any.
Junior,
Well,
if you're listening, I'm not asking for that. Holy fuck, what a dick.
How did you sleep through that, though? That's what I want to know.
I don't know how it happened. I think he must have like rubbed his ass on me, but I
Yeah.
really just can't figure out how he did it.
I have a feeling he probably just like stamped you.
He fucking stamped me.
Because sometimes I've seen Harley like where it's like, oh, you didn't do a good job back there.
Yeah.
And I need to. Well, she needs extra help wiping or something. But I think he might have. Or he did it. I think he did it purposefully.
I think he did it
I
on
think.
purpose.
I think Junior knows. Should we?
What? There's a Jackass bit where D. Camillo shits on Ryan Dunn's face. So, Junior was trying to get on the pod.
That's why, exactly.
Whenever you brought him, he's playing hard to get then because when you've brought him on, he's.
He wants to leave, yeah.
When you watch Jackass, do you think about like what ones would you do? Because I found myself thinking that the whole time.
Yeah,
And
which ones would you do?
I'm a wuss. I can't handle that's why I could never skateboard. I was too afraid to like try to land an ollie because I didn't want to fall. Like I just was so scared. So it's only like gross things for me and my friends, or like I guess smashing things. That's why I was glad there was a shit thing in here because that's the only relatable
God.
one to me.
Yeah.
But what about you? What would you do?
I'm across the board. I do almost everything that Bam does except the skating because that requires skill.
I wouldn't do anything tonight. I mean, for me, it's usually, and sorry if this is too much TMI, but usually it's like, I don't know, like we watched one, like one of our earliest episodes, we just watched Preston just get beat up by like 2 dominatrixes, and I was like, I would pay somebody money to do this. Like, so there's some, but like tonight, I don't know. I had a really tough time watching all of tonight's. Oh, we missed boxing in a sports store. That was the first one, which felt like it's a precursor to one that you see in a movie, which is the funniest one, which is Butterbean. Johnny Knoxville getting hit with Butterbean.
I can't even watch Butterbean. It's so
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
awful.
It's the funniest. It has the funniest thing ever though, because it's Johnny Knoxville gets a concussion and says, "Is Butterbean all right?" It's the funniest line ever said in anything. But that's one I think I would get in a fight in a store to get a reaction. I wouldn't want to like make anybody's life miserable to like have to clean up after me. But that was the thing my friends and I used to do is we used to get in like fake arguments in stores and stuff. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
That one actually had youth group energy too. I remember one of my youth pastors actually was like, it was like boys' night at youth group, and he was like, "We're just gonna actually literally start a fight club in my basement." Just like these like 13-year-olds punching each other in the face. So I guess we could have presumably done that in a store as well.
Yeah, also you could like very easily then just have the next part of the bit be that you clean up the store. Like I was in a band in like 6 years ago, and we like went on tour and we played this like frat house or whatever in the Bay, and we just tore the whole place up and like smashed like a big bag of boxed wine, and we just fucked up the whole place, and the audience had a really good time. But afterwards, the people who ran the place while everyone was partying, they were like, "You fucked up our house, like that was really uncool." And then we were like, "No worries, dude." And then we like made a party out of cleaning it all up. And that was like in The Hobbit in the very beginning when the dwarves all show up and they eat all of Bilbo's food and they make a huge mess. And then they start singing a song and they clean up all his shit. And he's like, what the fuck is happening? It's like more surprising that then you'd be like, cool, dude. And you like clean it all up.
I'm sorry. I know this wasn't the part of the story I was supposed to focus on, but they sing in The Hobbit?
Yeah. Have you read it?
I couldn't get into it.
Don't watch the movie. The book is great.
Will
It's
you
really
read
funny.
me the book? Because I can't get into it.
It's really good.
I just can't do it.
Read Vera the book. That could be on Patreon. You reading The Hobbit.
All right,
Vera.
we'll do it for Patreon. For our Jackass Patreon, I'll read Vera the Hobbit. And Vera, you have to wear pajamas.
I will totally do this. That sounds like a blast.
I'll do all the voices and I'll sing the songs.
Oh my god. That sounds so cool. That is really the only way I will ever get into Tolkien, I think.
He's a great writer. He's entertaining. He's funny.
I just can't. I don't know what it is. There's something about like hard fantasy. I know that's not really even hard fantasy. I should love it.
You
It,
should
has,
love it.
it checks all my
light
boxes.
fantasy. But
It's
do you
'cause
think
you
there's
feel
someone
obliged.
do you think there's someone in Jackass like nicely going up to everyone and be like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna clean it." I don't get that impression really.
No, I don't see that either.
No.
No.
Probably more like you got to be on Jackass.
I'm sure they have. I don't know.
I think a crew probably comes
Yeah,
in
there's
though
probably-
and is like, okay, guys, this was for MTV. We're gonna clean it all
Yeah.
up. Please sign these releases. Like, I bet it's like that. I bet they do
Yeah.
clean it up.
No, I'm sure they do. That's always the thing. Like I saw somebody like criticize like I think it was like one of the Borat movies where like he destroys like an antique store and it's like they definitely paid for the antiques.
Yeah, they
Calm
paid
the
for
fuck
it.
Yeah.
down. Like I'm sure.
All the footage
yeah.
you don't see from Jackass is them cleaning it up and getting releases signed, and Johnny Knoxville having a shit fit.
But they should turn. They should turn that. They should turn both of those.
That's
into,
what I wanna see.
Yeah. I don't want to see Johnny Knoxville get mad. I feel like that's like seeing. I don't know. That's like seeing Santa Claus, or that's like seeing like Mickey Mouse without his mask on. Or,
I guess, but like to me, because he's the one that I relate to the most, I like to see it because then it's evidence for me that when I have done that, that doesn't mean that I'm like a lesser performer.
Yeah.
You know, I see that and I'm like, oh, you guys edit it out when he's a fucking dick. Like you just
Yeah.
take it out and you only use the footage of good attitude.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I'm realizing that. Well, no, I'm not going to say that actually. Never mind.
Okay.
It's not good for the pod.
Beep. It's a secret. Geek.
The boxing one I feel like reminded me in a bad way of like what would now be those awful social experiment YouTube videos. Like their one is pure,
Yeah.
but I feel like it's set culture down this path that
Totally.
ended with teasing an unhoused person with a $10 bill or whatever the fuck they do.
They
on those
literally
things.
did that.
They did do that.
Yeah,
on
they
the
did
show,
that.
Though.
Oh, on Jackass they did?
Yeah, but they felt bad about it. It like, yeah.
Yeah, they did it. They did it on a fishing wire.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was very awful. And they would just keep moving it, and the person would think that it was flying in the breeze and like chase it.
My favorite social experiment pranks, though, they're the ones that like are clearly staged because like they then have no consequence. Like I watched one
Right.
once that was like, it was like a guy going up to a girl and like asking for her number. So he like talks to her and like asks for her number, and she was like, "Oh no, thank you." And it's like so clearly staged. And then he gets like in a fancy car, and then she like goes up to him, but like it's like shot like it's like on a hidden camera, and he's like, "What? Oh, now you want to like talk to me that you see I have a fancy
Now
car?"
you see my swag.
And it's like fucking 36 million views or something fucking crazy. And like it's just, I don't know, like I love that because it serves absolutely no function.
It's propaganda for the algorithm. It's
Yeah.
like it's propaganda, but all it does is encourage you to keep clicking weird titles.
It's like in a million years when like we do actually live inside of a matrix run by machines, like that will be everything. It'll
Yeah.
serve no purpose but to like yeah. Oh.
It's so true, because Jackass serves no purpose in like a pure way. That's like just to be beautiful
Yeah.
and entertain. But then, oh man, I also whenever I look at YouTube stuff like that, I always go most recent so that it's the lowest views, because I love like not like antiviral videos that no one has watched yet. And I remember on our show, I found one that was like a social experiment where this kid is like on the quad of his campus or whatever, and he's trying to pick up girls but only speaking in Blink-182 lyrics, and it had like 50 views, and like no one even could understand what he was saying. It was just like so miserably failing, and he still decided to upload it, of course. But
That was how I found my favorite genre of YouTube video of all time are cigarette reviews, because they're so depressing. And they're always
Jeez.
like, they're either like like clearly like a 13-year-old like dude or like a 45-year-old woman.
Oh,
Like a
God.
really rough like 45-year-old woman. And yeah, always look for the least recently viewed.
I
video on
used to,
YouTube.
when I was really in a dark place with YouTube, I would search like or make money now or something and watch the most recent one. It's just like people trying to recruit
So
you into a pyramid
dark.
scheme, but like 70 views or whatever.
I went down a little hole of like bongo tutorial videos because I got a little thing of bongos. I wanted to learn how to play them, but then I quickly learned that every video is like an old white dad. Like
Oh, hell yeah.
every single one is like the saddest white dad, like showing you the basics of playing the bongos.
I'm sure every steel drum
and being
tutorial
like
too.
1 1 2 1 1 2. Now you try. And it's like, that's all you know, dude. That's as much bongos as you know.
You introduced me to my other favorite YouTube genre, which is healing bats back to health.
Oh, I love
Oh
the
my
bat lady.
God.
We should play, because I've said this to so many people at this point. Like, you need to find this, and I never can find the clips. We should drop that right here.
Oh yeah, the baddie, the baddie, mad batter, something like that. She's a woman. She's an Australian woman or New Zealand. I forget where the flying bats live, the flying foxes. But it's her entire life. She responds to distress calls. People are like, there's, a flying fox in my gutter or in my roof. And the videos are just her going and like feeding them juice.
That's all right.
He's like, oh, no, don't nip me there. Have a little juice. Now see that. Now he's had some juice. Now he's
ready
happy.
to
All
fly.
right. Yeah.
Now he's ready to fly.
It's really special.
Yeah, it's great. I could
found-
list. That's what I wish was in my head all day.
So when we would do a Blink-182 song each week, especially if it was like a less popular song, it was so fun because our episodes are like fucking 3 hours long because I would not let any stone remain unturned. But of a newer Blink-182 song that like no one really cares about, I found someone had made a lyric video, but then the video part that wasn't the lyrics was like this little kid in a kiddie pool at night with a light being shone in its face, and the kid's dad was like in their backyard using an electronic dentist cleaner drill thing to like clean his kid's teeth in their backyard. It was like amateur dentistry with the lyrics of an obscure new Blink-182 song over top.
That is like what you found that is an Illuminati ritual of some sort. That is purely to harness adrenochrome.
Imagine making something that's so famous that it just is used in ways that you would just never imagine.
Like that's all you can hope for.
It can mean so many different things to so many different people. This song.
Man, this video of
someone it
me
means-
cleaning my son's teeth.
To
really
I'm
reminds me
cleaning
of
my
this
son's teeth
2016
in the dark.
No.
This is the song for that.
Yeah, I want to hear something I made in the background of a poorly shot amateur porno. That's my
That makes sense.
pop cultural goal.
Yeah.
This is really great. Can we have you back sometime?
Absolutely, I would love to. I mean, please, especially if there's more shitting and stuff. I'm into that.
Yeah, well, it's Jackass, so I'm sure we
There's
can.
gonna be more shitting.
We'll let you. It might be hard to find, but
It might be hard not to.
I think I want to ask you back because I think we need a youth group consultant.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think that's what the show's really needed.
I would
all
love
this
to be
time.
your youth group consultant. I wrote down other things about like the town in BC I grew up in because I kept thinking it was all coming back to me.
Oh my god.
Even do you remember do you guys ever talk about like Tom Green's show on? I feel like there's so many parallels.
Not yet.
I think we just a little bit. I'm like, I like Tom Green a lot, but I'm kind of rediscovering him in the way that I'm rediscovering Jackass. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
Oh, because I was remembering. This just reminded me, like it's all just stuff that you do when you're so bored. And I would hate to say the line about everyone's on their phones now because it's so cringe. But like this is the beauty of being so bored. And I remember Tom Green had that. I guess is it a sketch or what are they called? I don't really know. But he had that thing called Celery Generals where he would like make a little man out of celery and then leave it in the road. And if it gets hit by a car, you have to eat it. And my friends and I used to play that game from Tom Green and I just can't even believe I ever did that because now I will just go on Twitter all night. But I used to like eat celery off the road after a car would hit it.
I do, we should make this a Tom Green podcast after we're done with Jackass. I mean, that's years away. That's years into our friendship. And I don't want to think too far ahead, but I know you're looking for a way to get...
Let me dabble in Tom Green. We'll talk because I actually am not well versed.
I think it's a similar thing. I think
so.
Thing. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'll watch it. I'll watch it.
I really need food. I'm dying. I'm like losing.
We have to go. We have to eat burgers.
I'm losing my. I already am at a point where like I'm starting stories and unable to finish them.
That was at the beginning.
I know. So imagine where I'm at now.
You're right here still. Oh my God, it's been so good to have you on. It's so nice to meet you.
This was meant for me, I think. This is my
Do you have any where can people find you and do you have anything you want to plug?
Yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, I guess. Josiah Hughes is my @. There's also a Christian TikToker with the same name as me, and he's getting really famous. So I'm hoping I can sell him my at some point. That's my retirement plan, really.
That's a good plan, I think.
And
That's
then,
what we could all hope for.
Our show is just called 155 now, and we just talk about any punk song we want. So we've done like a Good Charlotte song, Avril Lavigne song, but we did like a Crass song. Like sometimes we talk about actual punk too, so it's very confusing time to be doing that. And then I have another show called Globe Hell Warning, kind of like global warming. It's kind of very hard to explain, but that's another weekly podcast that I have. So yeah, you just find me on the internet like everyone else, I guess.
Hell yeah.
I could be found at VeraDrew22 on Instagram and Twitter. Delete your Facebook immediately.
True. Delete your Facebook. My name is Ember Knight, and you can find me at on Instagram at Embergler and on YouTube just under Ember Knight. And and I have a Patreon. We both have Patreons.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to go to any of them or either of them or both of them, but
if you
they're
have money,
cool.
you should.
We do weird things behind our separate paywalls.
Oh yeah, I should also plug. I have a podcast. I have a new podcast that just dropped. I don't know when this is going to drop, so it's out there. It's called Hot Topics with Vera Drew, brought to you by Buca de Beppo, and it's my behind the scenes of the movie I'm making, The People's Joker.
True. I verify that is true.
My tummy's growling.
Do it again. Do it again, Tommy.
Can't do it on command. What if that'd be the lamest?
Jackass.
Yeah, because you'd shit on command, but I can growl my tummy on command. All right.
Are you hearing this? Producers of Jackass 4, put us in the movie. Put us in the movie. Put us in the movie.
All
Put
right.
us in the movie.
Put us in the movie.
Put us in the movie.
Put them
We could
in the
introduce a
movie.
bit.
Okay. What? We didn't.
Huh?
What?
No, I said no. We could introduce a bit in the movie.
Yeah, let us introduce a
Oh,
fucking
that would be good.
bit.
Yeah, no, I know what you
Jackass.
thought I meant it. All right, that's it. Cut.
It's over! Okay, enjoy Canada. It sounds really nice.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Fun.
Talk to you soon.
All right. See ya
See you.
later.
Okay, well, he's our best friend now.